Welcome back to my channel. Today is the day 13 of 60 days of DevOps with Vikash series, and before getting into this video, I would highly recommending you to go and watch from day 1 to day 12. So today's topic is we are going to see real-time cell scripting day 3. So if you are just interested in the cell scripting part, you should start with day 10, day 11 to day 13. Okay, start with day 11. And okay, and apart from that, if you want to know like what are the topics and all we are covering, you can check into the video description. All right, you will get all that kind of time codes. So this is a 60 days of free DevOps series on the entire YouTube, so kindly support by subscribing this channel, because this is a unique way we are following here. We will see the real-time project, we will discuss the scenario. Apart from that, we are providing you the mind map as a notes, so that you can use the same in for your uh, interview process. So we follow the best practices. Like before getting into this, we will have a quick round of revision of this particular topic which we have done so far. Let's check. So we have seen what is shell and what is bash. In the bash we have seen different thing, like these type of what is variable, how to declare a variable conditional, how to write conditional statement, how to read user input, how to write loops function, how to pass argument into a script. So we have started with the introduction, like these are the command, simple command we have seen in the day 10, how we can execute these all things, and how where it will help you when you join a organization as a DevOps engineer. This command where you will be using. We have seen various type of scenarios that you are going to deal with into a day-to-day life of a DevOps engineer. We have seen the advantages of writing a shell script. We have discussed so many things here. We have seen the advantages of writing a shell script in a file. We have discussed what is shell script, what is the difference between these three, correct? And we have seen different shell implementation, born shell and the born again shell. We have seen how we can write a simple shell script into the day 11, and we have in the day 12 we have seen how to declare a variable, and we have written shell script as well, with different type of shell script as well. Apart from that, we have seen various type of this various type of scenarios in the variable topic itself. Apart from that, we have done many program for conditional if else statements, and we have done the shell scripting for that. We have understood it. So today we will be starting, welcome to the day 13, and today we will be starting with the passing argument to a script. We will see these all thing as well, but let's just get started with this so that it will be very easy for you to digest. Passing argument to a script. I have written in short form pass arguments, that is args. All right, so how do we pass an argument to a shell script? Okay, so to understand this, let's do one thing. Let's try to understand by a real-time situation, like where we can use it. So for that, let me log into my terminal. I'm using a EC2 instance for that. Let me take the command. Let me come back to my terminal, just paste the command. Let me increase the font size for you, many of you have requested. So we are logged into my EC2 instance now. Let me clear the screen. So let's start. Let me revise the thing first, what we are going to do today again. So we will see how to pass an argument to a script. So let's create a script first, like user data.sh. This is the way usually we create a script, right? How do we initialize the script? Let me reopen the file. Come to insert mode, then bin, then bash. All right, let me start by writing a program. So in this program, what we are going to do, we will just check either the user group we are passing that exist or not. Okay, so let's write the program. Like let's start by declaring a variable. User group is something like, suppose Vikas. Okay, and here we have some condition. How to write a condition we have seen in the day 12 video. So here we will try to compare the variable, like the variable is user. If it is equals to what, this value, then we can write here echo, right? And here try echo. So user group, user, this is the variable. So this is the way we access a variable, right? We have seen in the day 12 using this dollar symbol. So this is a reference which is containing this value. If I want to use this value multiple time into these script, how I can access this value using this dollar. So that is what I have done. I have just done dollar, and user, it will try to access this value, and it will try to map this with this value. Okay, so user group this exist. Then if it doesn't, apart from that, let's give us it some more. Provide some spaces here. Into this we will write if user group equals to Mr. DevOpps, then what, again we can write then. So this is how we can write multiple nested if else. Okay, echo admin of server. This is just a simple program we are writing in order to see how we can pass our argument to a script. So let's frame this step first. Else echo invalid group. So this is how we, till now we have wrote some command, right? We have passed the input into the command itself, right? And we are utilizing the same variable into the entire of the script, right? So let's just try to run this. How to run this? First we have to provide it executable permission using this command chmod user data, sorry, chmod user, provide user this executable permission. on which file? This file. Then try to run this. What is the file name? User data, right? Execute it. So it shows user group Vikas exists, right? So, but according to this code, don't you think this is not dynamic? Whenever we will try to run this code, what is happening? It is taking the value which is hard coded, but we don't want to do that. There could be some other value we should pass from outside, right? Instead of passing from here, we should pass from outside. How to provide value, you can say externally to this particular script? How can we do that? So this is simple and straightforward. Just go to this file. So this is, we are passing the output, we are passing some parameter from outside of this script. So just write $1. Okay, so $1 is a argument which we are passing in the script. Okay, and that will be processed in the same order in the script. So this is basically, you can say this is indexing. Okay, which start indexing argument, indexing of argument which start from 1 and it goes till 9. Okay, now how we will execute this code? Like $1 requires one input. So what we will do while executing this code, we have to pass some name. See, it is showing, right? Okay, so this is the way you can accept parameter from outside into the script. Okay, so what we have seen till now, we have seen how we can assign to a variable, assign a external parameter or argument to a variable, and we have seen how we can reference the variable, correct? But there is a question, there should be a question. What? Like how to pass, how to pass multiple parameter in a script, multiple parameter in a script? We have seen just for single variable, right? Just we have seen the $1. If a shell script have multiple variable, how we are going to deal in that kind of situation? So let's start doing that. What we will do, we will try to create one more script. Okay, let's try to create a file config, or you can say mixed.sh. We have created this file mixed.sh. All right, come into insert mode, and here we will have now two command, two type, we will have two, you can say a function kind of thing. All right, so what we will do here, if you remember, we have done the if else, like suppose we have two suppose we have two, we will try to write the one function to check the directory again, -d, Suppose we have something like config directory, and we will take this as a input now. Correct? $1, and the same directory we will try to check here. Or let's do one thing, we can copy the command from if else. Let's try to grab this. Let's go to mixed. Okay, so this was our function. Again, let's try to include one more. That was our user data. Let's try to grab this as well. Copy. Let's go to mixed file. Let's try to copy this. So here you can see we are having two different functionality that need two different inputs. So second user group function is already aligned, right? We just need to change to $2. But how about the first? We have to make so many changes. Now we are taking the config directory as an input from the user, so we have to make the changes accordingly. Config directory, we are checking, we are running the command. That's it, right? Apart from that, we have to change this as well. This will be also config directory because we are trying to list down. We have seen this into the day 12, right? This is nothing but we are just, this function does what we are checking for this directory. If this directory exists, then it is trying to do what we are trying to store the output of a command into a variable. Like you can see, we are listing this directory, config directory, whatever directory and files are present into this directory, we are just trying to assign to a variable, and we are just trying to print those all things, what are the file and folder are there. If it is not, if this directory doesn't exist, we are trying to create this directory. All right, we are trying to create this directory. Apart from that, what we will do, we will try to create some text file inside that particular directory. If it doesn't exist, here also we have to change config directory. Inside this config directory, what we have to do, we have to create two files. Suppose config, into this create a file like abc.txt. Again, in the same way, into the config directory, create cde.txt. Correct. So while running this shell script, we have to pass now two variable instead of one. So this is how we can pass multiple argument to a shell script. So how we can do that? Let's try to do that. So now let's provide this shell script executable permission, chmod, provide the user executable permission on mixed.sh file, ls-l. Let's check. We have the file now. Correct. So we already have this config directory. Correct. What I want to do, I want to create another directory instead of this. So let's try to run this command mix.sh. First argument will go to the this directory creation function. So let's try to create a directory name like MrDevOpss. Okay, and another will be like, suppose a user group name. You can pass anything, either this or this, because we have already variabilized this. Let's try to pass it again, Vikash. Hit enter. So it says config directory doesn't found. So it earlier there were no folder named MrDevOpss, right? So that is why it has tried to create those all folders, and it shows like user group Vikas already exists. So when we will try to execute the same command again, what will happen? This time the directory will exist. Let's try to do ls and see. We have this folder, and this folder will contain two files as per our program, right? Let's try to run the same code, mix.sh. This time reading config directory contains, so this directory is existing and it contains two files. So this is how the code works for multiple parameter. So we are able to successfully able to pass two external parameter to our script, and this is how we have dynamically written this code. Correct. And the positional parameter will be from $1 to $9 only. Okay, it is recommended to use a maximum 4 or 5, but you can go till 9 here. Okay, you can take as much as you can. Okay, but till 9 you only you can pass for a particular. Now once this is done, we will see how we can read a user input, how we can use a user how you can we can read a user input. So this is a second way you can say. This is a second way of passing argument. One way was the one which we have seen just now, and this is the second one. But using this, what you can do now, you will ask a user to input, right? You will provide something meaningful like enter your name, enter your password. In this way you can write something meaningful functionalities, right? But in earlier it was not possible because we were directly passing the argument by running just the shell script. In which format? Like suppose this is your test.sh and you are passing something a and b, like this argument you are passing, but user is not aware what does this belongs to, what does this belongs to. Let's make it more meaningful now. So how we can do that? So to do that, yeah, let's go to the terminal. Let's clear everything, and now let's try to create a file again. Read user input.sh. It's created. Now let's try to write the shebang at the top of the program, and here we want to read a input. So let's try to suppose enter your name. Enter your name. How you can read it? Using this read command only. Okay, and if you want to prompt some meaningful message to the user, how you can do that? Using this, like please enter your name. So in that case you don't need this, right? And you don't need this, you can delete this simply. Enter your name, and if you want to store this into a variable, you have to pass something, like I want to pass a name variable. So once you will store the name, I am going to print that welcome to stir, and the name of the user. This is how we are accessing. Let's try to run this code now. How to run this code? First you have to provide some permission. Sudo chmod, provide this user executable permission on read file. Now run this file, read. See, it is blinking. Please enter your name. So suppose I'm entering this name, so it is printing this message, welcome to Mr. DevOps, and this is the username we have taken. So this is the way we can beautifully pass the name argument from argument. We can pass externally an argument to our function. Let's try to do one more thing. Let's try to draw a program where login functionality program. Login functionality in the sense you have to ask user for password. If the password matches, there should be login successful. Okay, so here we are seeing two things. First thing is reading user input, and second thing we are making use of condition. Again we are revising condition if else. Let's do that. Let's go back to the terminal and let's try to create a file login.sh. All right, and here let's try to write the cbang bin bash, and let's try to print a beautiful meaningful message first. You can write in this way: echo hyphen welcome to MrDevOpss YouTube. All right, this is a message whenever we will run the shell script. Now what we want to do, we want to take the username and the password. Okay, just it is a simple logical program. Okay, enter enter your username, pass into the user variable, enter your username, give some space to look it meaningful. Again we will try to take the password from the user. Read hyphen p, enter your password. Let's try to provide some space. And here what we will try to do, we will try to store this output into a input into a variable, that is pwd password. Okay, but I think it is considering as a command password. Now let's try to write some condition. if 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 user, if the input, right, is equals to some name. Well, let's try to do one thing. Let's try to consider this as a password. Let's keep it simple. Let's take the password, let's compare with this. Okay, if the password will match, then what will happen in the if condition? Then echo login successful. Right, you can hit some you can provide hyphen n. I think hyphen n will not work. Let's see. Else login failed, right? Let's try to close the condition now. Now I am going to run this code. Before running this, let's provide some condition, sorry, permission. Okay, now let's try to run the login with password. First you need to provide the name, correct? Just run this. It is asking for welcome to MrDevOpss channel. Enter your username. Enter the username, just provide the username. just provide the password as well. So something wrong with the code. Let's try to debug that. So okay, it should be echo, right? Okay, let's try to run the code again. Username is this, password is that. To run it again. So login successful. So this is how we can pass a external read a external argument. But what if you don't know, what if you don't know how many parameter we are passing? Correct, right? Currently you know you are passing limited to or one argument. Correct. But what if you want to pass multiple user input? If you want to take multiple user input, then how to achieve it? Let's try to create multiple read.sh. Let's start with the cbang again, bin slash bash. So how we can take multiple user input? We already know, right? Earlier how we were taking echo user $1 echo user $2. Correct. Let's try to run this shell script now. Correct. Now I'm going to run this multiple read, or let's provide some input. What it is doing, it is considering only the two input, right? But that is not the case. I want to, here I am passing, apart from that two input, here I am passing multiple input as well, right? It should consider this as well. So if you want to make it consider, what you have to do, you have to go to the file. There is a special command in order to achieve it, that is echo. You can write in this way, all parameters or params equals to, you have to provide dollar and you have to provide start. So what does it do basically? It basically represent all argument in a single string. Okay, whatever number of argument you will pass, it will consider all of the argument as a single string. So now when we will run it, see, it considered all the parameter as a string, right? But it is printing the echo $1 and $2. But now your question should be, how I will know how many parameter I am passing, how I will count it? These are the interview question, popular interview question. How many parameter I am passing? So for that there is a special character again. Just go here, echo number of arguments equals to, you have to put a dollar, you have to put hash. Let's run this again. So there are four argument you are passing, right? This Vikash, Vishal, ABC and DEF are the four argument we have passed. So this was all about the reading user input. Now we will see, the loop in shell script, how to use loop in shell script. So let's try to understand first how we need this. If you're not from a programming background, then suppose now you are passing multiple argument, but how, what if you want to read each and every individual parameter one by one? Correct, because dollar and star was doing what? It was considering all the parameter as a single string. But what is the case here? It doesn't work for me, right? I want to access each and every variable one by one. Either it will be a list of either it can be considered as a list of character or list of a string, etc. Okay, then loop comes in picture. So it does what? It enables you to execute set of commands repeatedly. Okay, apart from that, there are different type of loop, there are different type of loop. That is while loop, for loop, until, and select. These are the four loops you have available in the shell scripting. So now let's get started with the for loop implementation. What does it do? It operates on list of item. It operates on a list of item. Okay, and till it repeats some same set of command for every item in the list. Okay, it will pick one by one each and every variable, and it will try to perform the same operation on each and every item. Okay, so to understand it better, let's try to create a shell script now. Let's try to create for.sh. Let's try to put the cbang. Like suppose for, this is how we write a for each loop. For and any variable in what? Let's try to grab the parameter from this. Okay, now for will do what? It should access each and every value. Echo parameter, read the parameter PRAM. Correct. Now let's try to see how many parameters we are passing. How we can check that? Echo number of params are dollar and hash. Correct. So this is nothing but it will do what? It will take all the input as an argument, consider it as a single string. But this parameter does what? Like, hope you remember, like we were taking input as $1, $2, $3, $4. In the same way, it breaks all the single string and take the argument one by one and store it into this parameter variable one by one, and that variable we are printing here one by one. Let's try to run this and see if any issues are there. You can run this script directly also without giving permission. How? Using this sh. So number of parameter is 0. Number of parameter is 0. Let's try to for.sh. Let's try to pass some values. See, number of parameter we have passed, that is 4, and it has done what? For has done what? It has tried to read each and every parameter by breaking it. Correct. So this is how it works. Now let's try to do one thing. Let's try to modify this condition and do something more. We will try to do what? Apart from this, we will try to add some if condition into the for each itself. Let's try to check the config folder itself here. You can do many more things based on your convenience. hyphen d. Let's check either the directory. Let's try to read the parameter itself. We will pass one of the directory name here so that it will validate if that exists or not. Okay, if this directory exists, then what it has to do, then echo executing script into directory, echo let's try to run some command, ls-l where into this directory, whatever we will pass. Let's try to close this. We are not going to validate if this directory, what if the directory doesn't exist. Okay, all looks good. Now let's try to run the same command, but here we will try to pass one of the directory, that is config. We know this exists. So see, it has tried to execute the script into the directory because the directory is existing and the directory contains two folders. Correct. Let's try to do the same thing in one of the folder we have created. So this directory exists and these are the two folder it have. So this is how you can better utilize for each loop with if condition. Correct. Now let's go ahead and let's see something more. So whenever you are working with list, it may be list of server, list of program or software which you are going to install. So instead of directly installing one by one, you can directly pass all the name of the software into a list and that you can execute. So you can use for each loop in that case. Correct. Now we will see while loop. Okay, now we will see while loop. So what is the difference between for each and while loop? For each loop reads each and every item one by one, whatever we pass in a list. But while loop does what? It execute as a set of command repeatedly until some condition is matched. Okay, for loop does what? It checks each and every item until this finishes, it comes out of it. But while loops mainly work on condition. If the condition is true, till the time this loop is going to run. Once the condition is false, then it will come out of it. Okay, so what can be various scenarios of using this while loop in shell scripting? So you can one of the scenarios, you can ping until some services is available or not. Like you are trying to ping your something like google.com. Suppose google.com is down. Okay, it is not going to happen, but suppose this is a scenario. Or you can point some ip of a ec2 instance on which you are running some application. So you are continuously trying to ping this application, right, until this is up. You can use while loop for that. Or you can run a shell script for every 10 seconds to monitor some endpoint, that endpoint is up or not, and endpoint is up or not. For every 10 seconds you are running the shell script automatically and checking. Apart from that, you can install a software and you can wait until the services is up or not. Okay, you in that case also you can use this while loop. So how we write a while loop? So the four was very simple, right? 4 was very simple. For I in something list or a list, and anything you can pass like this. Okay, we have seen taking all the parameter at a time. But how do we define while loop? You have to write like this: while, here some condition, Condition may be boolean value, boolean in shell script. It can be true, it can be false, these two value. So while condition, and again in the same way we have in the for each loop, we will have in the while loop. Statement, do and done. Okay, so on the basis of that, let's try to write a program using this while loop for better understanding. So I need to take shell again. My terminal is not responding because my key is in download, so that is why I have to switch to that directory. Once I'm here, I will run this command. Alright, so let's try to create a while loop. So I will provide the name as while.sh. Let's try to declare the bin. Okay, shebang is done. Now we are going to write a while loop. Suppose I'm going to do sum of two numbers. So let's declare a value first. Initialize a value with sum equals to 0. And now I am going to run this while true. Until and unless it goes false, just run it. While true, do. And here we will try to ask for input. Read -p, enter a number. Let's try to provide some space, and let's try to store the number here. Once the number is here, we will try to do what? We will try to add the number again and again. How we can do that? Using sum plus the number we are getting continuously. This number we are getting, and we will try to print the number as well, the sum as well. How we will get that? From the sum. How to access? Using this. Done. Let's try to close this. Let's try to run this. How to run this? Sh, or you can provide the condition permission, and here you have to run this. Enter a number, suppose 2. Sum of number are 0 plus 2. So why this is happening? Because you are doing arithmetic operation, but shell will consider it as a string still. So let's come out of it. I came out of this code. Apart from this, you will see. So let's go to the while loop first. I will tell you the second issue with this. To run a arithmetic operation, what you have to do, you have to put a dollar, and then you have to put double brackets here. All right, now let's try to run this code. Two, again provide some number. 3, 4, 6. It is working fine, right? But you will see we have given condition in the while loop that is true, so it will be continuously running, right? So this is not a correct way. We have to make some condition in the while loop itself, so that we should be have a way to come out of this program. So how we can do that? Let's cancel this. For come out of it, you have to do currently control C. Just go to the while loop code. Let's try to write some condition first. Okay, and here after read I am trying to put some condition, right? If number, if number equals to q means quit. If it is equals to q, small q, then do what? Then break. Break will do what? It will break the code from here itself. Let's close this. Okay. Okay, now let's try to run the code again. So this is how you can do it. Like the issue was here we were passing a single string, so that is why only I have just changed it to single equals and it started working. So this is how when we will run the code now, if you will do such, and let's try to provide some number 2 3 5 6. So this is the way it is providing us the output, and if you want to quit, just provide single q, it will quit. Correct? Now let's try to do one thing. So till now we have seen bash. Correct? We have seen bash. But this is having some complex syntax. Correct? It is not very intuitive and flexible. So there are other better alternative for some of the tasks. Like we have a programming language that is called Python, and another is for configuration tool. We have Ansible. Okay, we will learn both of the tool in the upcoming bootcamp lecture. Correct. So now last and very important concept we are going to see. I will be demonstrating about function. Imagine, just imagine if you have to write actual server configuration or monitoring a script. Okay, so let me put the heading for better, so be on the same phase. So suppose you are going to write now any actual server configuration. Okay, and that is obviously that is going to be very more complex, right? More complex. Apart from that, it may have thousands of lines of code. Correct? Whole things will become very hard to read if you will write in this way. Correct? It is a shell script in which you are writing the things like this in a monolithic way. What? But if you want to use some logic again and again, there is certain logic like some function. There is certain logic, right? We are doing sum. Okay, instead of creating the sum function, some functionality again and again, why can't we create a function and pass the value again and again to the function and call the function anywhere in the script? Like we have variable, in the same way we will start calling this function. Now it would be very good, right? So that is how the function do what it enables you to break down overall functionality of a script into smaller logical code blocks. Okay, so what is the definition of function? Function basically enables us to break down overall functionality of a script into smaller and logical code blocks. So how do we basically define a function? You have to start with function keyword, function name, and here you have to write like this, and here you can pass list of commands. And how you will call this function? You just have to call the function name. into the same shell script, and this is how it works. So this code block can be referenced anywhere in the script. So now let's try to do some real-time lab practice. Let's go to the terminal again. Let me clear the screen. So we will try to open the while loop again. Okay, and this is our function. Correct. And we are going to do what? We are going to invoke this some function again and again. Okay. Instead of passing the value, running it one time, we can run it multiple time. Okay. How we can do that? So for simple, we have seen the way how we can write a function. This is just, let's create a function. This is the keyword, and this function name will be sum, and then inside this curly braces we will pass the code. Correct. Now let's try to delete this. How to delete this one by one? Just now let's try to run this sh while .sh. It is saying function not found. Something wrong with this. Let's try to provide this permission. Sometime it doesn't work. Chmod user executable permission while.sh. Now the file.sh. See, it is returning nothing. Sometimes sh doesn't work, so we have to go for the uh, this method, like providing permission and then trying to execute. So why it is not giving any output? What could be the reason? What you have done, you have just declared the function, but you are not calling the function at all. So you have to call the function. Correct. Let's go to the function. How to call a function? We have saw, right? Just provide the name. What is the name? Sum. Correct. Now let's run the function. Let's run by this while .sh. It is asking for values 2, 3. Let's come out of it. Correct. Let's go to this function. Let's try to do one thing. So this is how you can declare a function, and you can call a function, and you can execute a function. But how to pass parameter to a function, right? How we can pass parameter to a function? So for that, let's try to do one thing. Let's try to create a new shell script where we will be creating new files. Okay, let's create .sh. This is the function. always try to provide executable permission, because use running by sh the shell script is not going to work sometimes. Okay, so let's try to write a function for creating, which creates new files. Function create file. This is a function which create files. Inside this, let's try to write the functionality, like what is the file name we will receive from the user. Once you will receive the file name, let's try to create the touch using touch. Create the file. It will create the file, and then once it will create, we will try to display some message like file created. This is how the function is, right? And how we will pass multiple parameter to this function. So how we will call this function? First create file, create te test.sh, create file abc.yml, create file, call the function name properly, otherwise it is not going to work, abc.txt. Let's try to run this function now. Before this, must provide the executable permission. Create.sh. Now try to run this. Create. Let's check first. We do not have any file by that name. These files are created. Let's do ls. We can see we have abc.txt, abc.yml, and 4.sh. Not 4.sh, this test.sh. So these are the file we have now. Correct? Now what I want, let's try to make it little tricky. We will try to find out if any shell script file are there or not. If any .sh file we are passing, it should know. Okay, it should know, and it will do what? It will try to provide some permission. Okay, how we can do that? Let's go to that file again, that is create.sh. Whenever it will see any any shell script we are passing, it should automatically uh, provide it executable permission. Correct? So let's do one thing. Let's try to remove all the file abc.txt, abc rm test.sh. Okay, currently this test.sh file was not having any executable permission. Let's try to open the same file. Let's try to put some condition. Once we have got the file, is shell script, this is a variable I am declaring and taking the value true or false. Let's take true or false. Okay, if, okay, what is the condition? If is shell is the file you are passing is the shell script. If it is true, if it is true, then what? Then do chmod user executable permission on which file, on this file, correct, and then do ls-l, and then let's close this. All right, so now we have to pass some value as well, like test.sh we are passing, yeah, it is a shell script, true. Then let's try to execute the command now. Dot slash create dot sh. Okay, it is saying something. This is a unary type of operator expected. Let's go into this. Let's try to fix the issue. Let's get into the create file. If it is equals to true, then let's try to run it now. Dot slash create dot sh. All right, test dot sh is created. Where is test dot sh? I think we are listing then creating, I guess. We are providing permission then listing. Let's try to do ls. We have the test.sh here, correct? We have the test.sh here, and then what we are doing, we are just assigning this user executable permission. So this is how it does work. So this is how we pass parameter to a function. Okay, and now we will see how we can return values from a function. How to do that? Let's clear the screen. Let's create a function, return.sh. Let's create a function called sum function total equals to, let's 1 plus 2. We are taking two argument and then we are returning the total. How to return? Again like this. So this function will basically return sum of two variable. So either you can do what? Either you can store it in this way, result equals to, by calling the function sum 1 2, correct, and let's try to echo the result. Sum of two numbers are provided permission. So we haven't passed any input. Okay, something wrong with the function. Let's try to check. How to debug it actually. So to debug it, what you can do, you can directly print something, print the value here, either the function is working properly or not. Okay, let's try to run it. This is the way we debug. Let's try to see function is working properly. Sum of the two number are 3. Function is working properly. Here we are calling the function sum to 1 and 2, and here it should return the output. We have to enclose it in double bracket, I guess. Or what else you can do? You can directly call the function 2 and 10. Okay, and to get the result, what you can do? You can provide dollar question mark. It does what? It returns the value. It returns the value returned by the last command. Last command is what? Last command is you are calling a function by passing 2 and 10. Right, now let's try to print the argument. Let's run this. The sum of two numbers are 12. So this is how you can return a value from a function. So this was all about the series. In the next, thanks for watching.